What am I looking for?
It will never happen because there's not enough money in the world. Can you debunk this piece? There doesn't need to be enough money in the world. It's strictly supply and demand. There's a lot of people that look at market cap and base things off that, but unfortunately for them, these are protocols. They're not companies. You can't base the market cap off earnings and even discern that ratio. Trying to place a market cap on a protocol would be like trying to place a market cap on an email protocol or HTTP. The total addressable market cap for this is quadrillions of dollars. So to try to place a market cap on it like a company in the trillions or billions, when there's 100 billion XRP, is because they need that many, so it's not just an astronomical price. Like if you used Bitcoin to move all the money in the world, it doesn't have enough decimal places. Each decimal place would be worth too much money. Each sat would be too much money. So that's why they need the supply to be so large so that it's still a reasonable price. You know, $10,000 XRP is very reasonable when it's settling derivatives. 10,000 XRP will never happen because there's not enough money in the world.
So it's a combination of
10,000 XRP will never happen because there's not enough.
So it's a combination of XRP being used as a solution and then the rapid pace of adoption and that accelerating. Can you speak to the supply? I've used the term supply shock eventually is coming in for XRP. How much is actually floating out there here? I mean, obviously, if XRP goes up to $5 or $10, there might be another, billion XRP that gets sold. How much is out there though for retail to even pick up?
It's going to depend on the ratio for the ETFs and if that's part of that when that's going on, right? So right now there's around 1,000 XRP per share of the ETFs that are going to be issued. And so if that's the case, I mean, they're going to have to be buying up gobs and gobs of XRP to back those ETF shares that they're going to be selling.
So every share of the ETFs that they're proposing would be backed by 1,000 XRP.
That's one of the ratios, right? So there's different people that have announced different ratios.
So we'll see a range, won't we?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Depending on which one you're, buying into, they'll be priced different and they'll have a different amount of XRP that backs it. Same thing with the Bitcoin ETFs. Right. But there's going to be a ton of demand because it's spot. They have to accumulate that much XRP to back those shares. When I spoke with Simon at Uphold, he asked me how much XRP I thought was between the exchanges and retail. And I told him somewhere between 5 and 6 billion. And he said, yeah, I think that's about right. And if anybody's going to know, I would bet that Uphold would know.
Yeah. One of the top exchanges for XRP also tapped in with Ripple's on-demand liquidity. So they get to see both sides of this scenario.
I think what could be left is somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion on the exchanges available for purchase. And I really don't think retail holds much. I think retail is somewhere between 1.2 and 2 billion XRP is all of retail is what they hold. We, have a good portion of that with Digital Wealth Partners, close to 150 million XRP for our clients that are holding that in institutional custody and working with us to be able to earn returns and borrow against that. So, meeting with 2,500 people over the last 4 years in the space, I think I have a good idea of how much XRP is out there in the retail community. And to your point, a portion of those people are going to liquidate a big piece of their bag on the way up, but it's still only maybe billion XRP that could flow onto the market, 1/100th of the supply that might be available. So when there is a supply shock, it's going to be significant.
Wow. So it's a combination of XRP being used as a...
That's nuts. They have 150 million XRP. It's nice, bro.
I think he might have announced 60. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. 65,000.
Wow.
What's the bet?
60,000.
Whatever he wants is 60.
I'm at 60. I don't want to
You're fine. Just whatever you want the bet to be. Fine.
Yeah. I don't want to poor etiquette.
You're good, dude. You're good. Oh, so many tough decisions against you. Been wrong every time. Folded a bunch. Called and was wrong. It's so brutal.
Why do I think he's going to call Bart?
Does this hand mean? I don't know.
Now he's trying to look calm.
Yeah, a lot of time chips might be going in here. This is really thin line here.
Would Nicky ever play a flop flush like this? Would he ever play just a jack like this? Remember, it's a 4-bet pot. He 3-bet out of the small blind, and Garrett 4-bet, and he snap called.
Oh, he's going to try to vape his way to a fold.
You got it again, huh? But every time you've had it against me, I feel like you got it again.
Yes, everybody.
That doesn't mean he's folding. Sometimes he switches gears right in the middle of the game. Man, he might be leaning that way though. He doesn't look happy about this. This is putting him in a tough spot, man. Tough damn spot.
Can't win this hand, I don't think either.
Oh,
Just gotta hope you have something like that.
Well, I mean, normally you wouldn't think someone would have like ace-7 off ace of
Not
hearts,
sure what to do.
which is like the nut flush draw unpaired. But we know that he might even have that. He's got a black 5-4, so
yeah.
trying to hand read here is really hard.
Well, Garrett is the master of making the right decision. And 60,000 isn't going to change his life. He's just trying to make the best decision as a competitor.
Great split screen here.
Yeah.
Guess I'll fold.
Oh, he makes the wow, Mickey, show it, baby.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Wow, dude.
and he shows him.
Yeah, king.
Woo! That's going to leave a mark.
Ace 2 or 1.
Nice hand, man.
Wow, Mickey Tricky. Garrett is very disappointed.
Now, one of the things that has kind of been holding us down.
My last launch, I prepared for.
Greetings, gentlemen. Please don't get up. I come in peace. I've heard rumblings on the wire that
I used to love this show.
you're planning some sort of schoolyard ambush, and I thought it prudent to see if we can work things out over a meal. Break bread, settle our differences. Pimento loaf isn't really my thing. In fact, when I get out of here, my very first stop will be Augustine in Manhattan for a simple omelet. Yum. What about you?
I'll be at the Blue Lounge on the set, toasting your grave.
You must be the one with that record collection I envy so dearly.
Yeah. I also got the blade that's gonna carve you like a pumpkin.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Huh?
A pumpkin is a gourd. Jack-o'-lantern is the carved pumpkin. Either way, it doesn't matter. I know what you meant. I still envy your record collection. Baldomero, what do you say we call this whole thing off? What happened in Iztapalapa was a terrible mistake. I regret it dearly, and I had no idea she was your mother.
You in my bed. There was a picture of me on the nightstand.
Okay, in our defense, it was incredibly dark, and we'd been drinking heavily. Honestly, I regret the entire weekend. Of course, don't tell your mother that.
I'm gonna gut you like a fish. The guards have been paid off, which means I got 20 minutes with you. And I won't need 10 to take out you and the boy.
A Romany fortune teller once gave me an astonishingly accurate peek into my future, and I'm going to do the same for you. You and I are never going to see each other again after tomorrow. But when you do walk out of this calaboose, I promise you this. Within 24 hours of your release, you'll be lying on the floor with a blade in your belly, gurgling my name and begging to die. Okay, then. Good talk. Get some rest, fellows. It's going to be a big day. Oh, greetings, gentlemen. Please don't.
Just take a look at this sneaky move. This is Caleb Plant, an undefeated super middleweight champion who not only knew how to fight, but also mastered the art of getting under his opponent's skin. He was known for his cockiness, bold antics, and dirty tactics. At press conferences, he didn't just talk, he provoked. But at some point, it seemed like he started believing in his own invincibility, and that turned out to be his fatal mistake. Unfortunately for him, a true nightmare of professional boxing had entered his division, Saul Canelo Alvarez, a man who doesn't need loud words. He speaks with his fists. At the pre-fight press conference, the tension was already running high. It seemed like things couldn't escalate further until one of the fighters decided to throw fuel on the fire. Everyone instantly understood. Alvarez had entered fight mode long before the opening bell. Plant seemed to think his mind games had worked. He believed he had gotten into Canelo's head and was already winning the battle before stepping into the ring. But he forgot who he was dealing with. Standing in front of him wasn't just a champion. It was the pound-for-pound king, a man who had made a career out of punishing those who mistook arrogance for confidence. Caleb's undefeated status had clearly gone to his head. He came into the fight thinking this was his moment of glory, but Saul Alvarez, ever the composed tactician, wasn't fazed. He entered the ring calm and collected, fully aware that the early rounds weren't going in his favor. The scorecard showed he was trailing, but Canelo didn't panic. He waited, patiently, waiting for the moment when Plant's defense would crack, when overconfidence would turn into vulnerability. Closer to the middle, the forces were equal. Caleb threw an uppercut, and Canelo pinned him in the corner. And after that, the corners became a permanent place for Caleb to defend himself, as he was pinned down again and again by combinations. Every attempt by Plant to break Alvarez was immediately accompanied by a surge of emotion from Canelo, as if he was trying to bring the American down to earth with any attempt to elevate himself. At some point, it became like a cautionary tale, a one-sided beating. But even despite the legend's confidence, the American didn't just not give up, he gave a worthy rebuff. At that moment, it was not obvious who would win, and even now, Canelo landed such powerful punches right to the temple, and at one point even received a reprimand from the referee for making an illegal strike. He apparently accidentally hit the groin area and realized it himself right away, and apologized to his opponent. And then something began that was impossible to watch without slow-mo, a wild fight, but without a single powerful hit. Were they lucky? At that moment, both were tired, but one was out of focus, and the other went into berserker mode, fight or die. Plant started making fun of Canelo. By the way, it was in vain, because Alvarez was not in a state to tolerate ridicule. He moved forward. Plant was literally getting burned by Canelo's punches, but Alvarez needed to finish the fight. That moment came in the 11th round. Alvarez started to close in. With a series of short, precise combinations, he dropped Plant to the canvas. The arena erupted. Caleb struggled to his feet, signaling he could go on. But Canelo had no intention of giving him a second chance. Another lightning-fast assault, and Plant went down again. This time, it was over. Just take a look at this.
This is how I'd learn AI in 2025.
This is how many straws we use every second in the US. This is Final Straw. It's the world's first reusable, collapsible straw.
How much does this cost to me? $5.
What do you sell it for?
20. Oh, too expensive.
People spend $20 at Starbucks. And what people say on our reviews is, I'm going to save my money to get this.
You came in asking for $625,000 for 5%. With that kind of ask, unless they have some kind of sale.
We launched this company 2 months ago and raised $1.89 million.
Really?
Oh!
How can
I help you?
So I think there's a mistake on the bill, but maybe you could help me out. We got a bill, and then we realized that you guys didn't have our insurance, so we sent you the insurance, and it looks like the bill went up.
It went up?
Yeah, the first bill we got without the insurance was $600.
This is how I'd learn it.
I have to explain the time I got cheated. I'm going to call the guy because people would go, bull. So we're playing craps, which I presume has to be somewhat of a fair game because it's dice. We start rolling hot and we're winning big, like hundreds of dollars, and I go to roll and the dealer takes the stick as I go to roll and hits my hand. And I said, what the fuck are you doing? And he goes, no. I said, no roll. And I go, hold on. I was on the energy's there. I'm on a heater. Yeah. And he goes, no roll. Next roll, 7 out. And we lost our shit. And we were like, hold on. You just fucked with our momentum. Now, granted, it is rolling dice, but I do believe in the cosmos and the planets aligning and the energy of the boat. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm talking with a guy named Mickey, who's a professional gambler, who's been outlawed at a bunch of casinos. And I'm telling him about the time we got fucked in the ass.
And you got hit with a stick.
I got hit with the stick. Pete, how big was our fuck? We were on a fucking burner, weren't we?
We were on an absolute burner. Okay, so first on a roll, 16, 17 rolls in a row. And finally, I don't know anybody that's ever thrown craps in their life that doesn't pick the dice up off the table to throw. Everybody does. And it's impossible not to. How do you throw dice if you don't pick them up? And certainly Bert picks up the dice, goes to throw it. And this guy goes, no, roll. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about, no roll? He's like, no. I'm like, we're like, what? What's going on? And he goes, you can't pick up the dice. And he smacked Bert's hand with the stick.
Yep.
I said, what the fuck is going on? I said, what do you mean? And they're like, no, don't play. I'm like, what do you mean no play? We're throwing dice. What are you talking about? 10 grand on the table. And sure enough, then they cleared it up. Then they made Bert re-roll, and he 7'd out.
Yep. And then I'm going to tell the rest of the story. Thank you for validating my experience. So we made all the pit bosses come out, and we made that guy apologize to us and say that he was cheating. We made him say it.
Really? I love that.
We made him come out and he wouldn't do it. And we were like, nope, we're grown men here. We're men. and you're gonna admit what you did, and you're gonna say you're sorry that you cheated, and we videotaped the whole fucking thing.
I love that.
We sat back and we said, hold on, we need everyone to admit he cheated. We want everyone to say it, and then we need him to come out, say he's sorry that he cheated, that he's a cheater. We need him to say he's a cheater.
I love that.
We were pretty wasted. we were like, you don't. It's not your money. What the?
So there is pressure they get.
That's crazy. Man. I want to play not craps. I don't like to roll dice. I want to play roulette and what else, man? What's that other cabaret, crack attack, cacamat, slack attack. I forgot what it's called. Anyways, man, it's fucking like one of them. No, it's 11:30. I gotta like fucking go to bed, bro. Big day.